emotional. I just wanna be all alone.
Oh, man.
No, first of all, you messing up my words because it says I just want to give you content that you cannot resist.
Oh, my bad.
Like that sundress is fire on you, yo.
Oh, thank you.
Sandy, you looking real,
right.
yo. You know what? Could I get on my knee and say,
no?
Would you marry me?
No, because I'm gonna tell you no.
You gonna tell me no? Why you gonna hurt my feelings?
Because that's what I do.
I know.
Ooh, okay. Well,
You're getting replaced.
well,
You're getting fired today.
well, hey,
Yo,
we got Troy. We got Troy back from
we
from
got
another
Troy
episode.
back.
Absolutely.
Go with that question.
And back,
Hold on. Before you ask the question,
uh-huh.
Troy, get into what you was about to say about the pennies because I think people need to hear that.
Go ahead, pennies, go ahead.
Well, I don't. Well,
The pennies.
what I said was
pennies.
when you have when you don't have, you count your pennies, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you should, right? And I will digress back to being a good steward of what you have. Right? He was faithful over little, can be trusted with a lot. But when you have,
Bible.
I'll put it like this: I get lackadaisical where pennies become dollars. Like I'm not tracking dollars to where I'm not necessarily tracking hundreds. Now, that shouldn't be though. You should always count your pennies. All right, count your pennies and your dollars will grow. It's just it becomes a blessing that you don't have to. If I can say it like that, I don't want to say that you should always be a good steward of what God has blessed you with, over your seed, right? So that you're not wasting it. Don't throw your pearls to pigs.
In the Bible, if most people read the Bible, they call it talents.
Talents, fine.
Right.
But it's a blessing to be able to not have to worry. There's a YouTube thing, recession proof. No matter what's going on, I'm gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm. That's the mentality I have every day.
And see, when you're wealthy, when you're rich, you
comfortable because what it says in the Bible, it says, "Don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow may never." Don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow may never come. But it never said, "Don't be concerned."
It says tomorrow will worry for itself.
Yeah.
All right. So that goes back to the Lord as our provider, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you let me first say this too: walking it out and talking it out are two different things, right?
Talk to him
because I can tell you. Another reason why I love my wife. A couple of years ago, I had surgery on both my knees because I was at a picnic and my quad tendon separated at my knee. But the next step I took, my patella tendon separated on my another knee. And I was on the ground. An ambulance came, and then shortly after I was in the hospital. And I laid in the bed with tears in my eyes. God, please. And the devil was, "You're never going to walk again. You're never going to walk again." And I had doctors tell me you're going to be fine, but it didn't feel like it. And when, not to segue into a different direction.
Now go there. That's what we do.
The more you seek the Lord, sometimes the tougher it gets. And that's not a reason to shy away from him. It's a signal that you're on the right path because the enemy's trying to get in the way.
Car crash, CJ. What am I telling you? Yo, somebody crashed into my car, and I was telling them. Matter of fact, it was me and Sandy. We had a beautiful week. This week was so beautiful. We just did a taping. Yeah, we went to this event. We come outside. Me and Sandy about to go get something.
Let me tell you something. Hold on a second. There's always a worse story. There's always because I'm gonna tell you in light of even like in February, I was at church and God put it on my heart to do something. There's something that I want to do for the kingdom, right?
Right.
And I made my decision based on something I read. Given it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together unto your cup runneth over. And when you see something, there's a 60, 30, 60, 100% fold. I don't know if that's the right
way.
Yeah,
you good. Yeah, you know.
So I'm like, you know what, God, I want to do this for you. And I'm going to make a seed offering. And a couple of times I've done that.
Like, what you reap is what you sow. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to speak to that. I was dating somebody and I made $1,000 offering to an online TV ministry. And it's just because God said, do it. I felt it in my heart and in my spirit to do it. And I did it. And it ended up costing me that relationship. Because she was like, well, how can you send them that money? And where this is, look, God put it on my heart to do it. I'm going to do it. Right? And that went south, and but 7 months later, right, in the process of doing the credit thing with the CDs, in the process of looking for loans and all this other stuff, I bought my first home.
There you go. He watched you. He brought it back to you. Amen.
Talk to him.
So 100-fold, easy, and like the house, it was $220,000. And this is a true story. Before I signed the papers to this home, I had the security deposit, first month's rent in my hand, right? And while driving home, God says, I'm gonna make everything new in your life. I'm like, everything new? I'm driving home from work, and my CLK at the time, 430, was giving me problems. And I remember this word, and I said, God, anything you bless me with will bring me no sorry. And there was a testimony with that too as well. He says, okay, let's get you something new. I told you I'm gonna make everything in your life new. A week later, I'm driving a CLS 500, paying $50 more than I was paying for my other car. And that goes back to learning how to buy a house. I mean, you learn how to buy a car, you can learn how to buy a house, but that's a whole nother cash in hand. And as I'm driving home down 195 coming from Tiverton, God said, get off at Route 6 exit. Let's go get you some furniture. I'm like, furniture? I said, I told you I'm making.
So these are all thoughts that you're having in your head as
this
you're
is him
driving?
talking to me.
Oh, he's talking to you. He's directly talking.
Don't get it twisted. Right?
Hey, I'm just trying to, I'm letting the people understand what's going on.
I'm going to say something to you this, all right? Because I want to explain that. People, you talk to God?
Don't forget your question, CJ.
I got it.
He's got it.
God is waiting to talk to you.
Tell her.
And I said, okay, God, this is a scenario. What religion is the right religion? Because if you follow them and they're wrong, then they're wrong. He said, okay. If somebody walks off that cliff and you follow that pastor or whoever the case may be, you're bound to walk off the cliff. I said, well, which one? He said, my son, Christ. Well, how you follow him? You spend time reading his word. How do you get to know the Lord? You know how to tie your sneakers? Well, you ain't got no laces. You know how to tie your sneakers?
Yeah.
Of course.
Why?
We talk.
Because you do it every day.
Oh, yeah.
You're familiar with it. You're proficient at it. You're efficient. Spend time with the Lord every day.
Hey.
Right? A lot of what you hear me say is what I'm just regurgitating. What I've heard. So my question was, okay, because I'm a literalist, and forgive me because I ain't gonna ask for forgiveness for the Lord. I'm like, God, you spoke to Moses, Abraham, Jacob, Isaac. Why aren't you hollering at me? He says, say something. Just like that, in my head, say something. He says, he'll meet you halfway, right? No matter where you're at, prodigal son, familiar with the Bible.
Yeah, of course.
He says, you come up with it. I said, okay, God, you're omniscient. You're outside of time, right? You know everything. So you're going to know what I asked somebody when I asked them. So I would say, okay, I'm going to ask her a question and believe that it's coming from you by faith, because he only moves by faith. Do you like broccoli?
Yes.
Okay, that was my answer. And that went on for a little bit. And then I would continue to ask questions. And sometimes the answer was no. I was like, hey, wait a minute. He goes, I'm going to say yes to everything you say? No. That developed into more and more, and my own question what I was doing. So I had a person at my job at the post office, and I said, because she was like a spiritual mother to me. I said, I'm going to ask you something. I'm doing another experiment. And I told her about it already, so she was uncomfortable with me even asking her questions. I said, are you having a good day? She said, I know what you're doing. Stop doing it. I said, I don't want you to tell me. I want you to write it down on paper. And this was a confirmation for me. With
Say
him.
that part again, because see, most people miss that. She said, I know what you're doing. Without telling you what you was doing, you knew what you was doing. And she said, stop doing, and you knew.
Right.
Go.
So I said, you know what? Don't say it. Write it down on paper and give it to me. And then I asked another person who was a spiritual brother at work with me. I said, hey, look, is Pat having a good day? He goes, I don't know that. I said, I just need a yes or no answer. I need you to write it down. He said, okay, I can do that. He wrote it down on a paper. And when I opened the paper, they both said probably. So it was confirmation. He used both of them to not apply what I had been using to show me that, yes, this is work. Shortly thereafter, I was driving to work down 95, just coming past Providence Place Mall, just went under the Atwell's Ave Bridge, and I had an encounter with God. as I was driving, I can't explain this to you, but I had a feeling it was so good that I could feel life in everything, in the windshield wiper blade, in the mirror, in the building, in everything.
Your senses, everything.
I just felt him in everything, to the point where I had to say,
sensitive.
Stop. It felt that good. And it would be a tingle in the back of my neck. He says, look, I didn't send my son to die for you to have to go through somebody else to ask me questions. So whenever I want to talk to you, that feeling would to the point where it's where I just spend more time in the Word. I spend more time knowing Him. And He has blessed me. Like your confession should be, like people ask me all the time, how you doing? I said, blessed always. Call things that be not as though they are. Right? But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go in that direction.
Listen. You know why you confirm? Because I keep, you know the Bible. I say
I don't know it. I know I know the book of Troy.
You know enough to say this when I say those that are humble, I exalt. CJ is humble. You want to know what's so funny before you got in this room? Me and CJ talk all the time. Me and Sandy talk on occasion because I don't have to talk to her because we good. And I was like, yo, CJ, you would never know who I got. And he said, you know who we need to get? He said your name. And I said, CJ. I'm not making this up. That's why he's laughing.
Yeah,
I said, CJ,
seriously. He left the
guess
gym.
who's coming?
He left the gym and told me. So
I just said him.
Yeah.
He said, you know who we need to get? We need to get Troy Scott. I said, CJ, I just talked to him.
Yeah.
He's coming.
After we finished talking about credit, I was like, you know what? We need to step into real estate and everything. I was like, and I remember that paper before we started recording. I remember that paper you wrote down for me when I was working in foreign Canada, and he was giving me gyms and stuff like that, loans and everything. That's gonna, I got questions on that because reverting back to that paper.
You might have to make a copy of that paper.
he remember. He got
to make a note of this.
I think that was the CD thing I was talking to you about.
Yeah, he was talking about CD, and he's talking about, we're talking about loans and everything, and now, if you don't mind, knowing what you know now, can you explain what it means to refinance your loan if you just take out a loan, anything like that?
So if you, again, that speaks to interest rates, right? And the bank's keeping you back at start one, the beginning, so that you're paying more interest longer at a higher rate.
Okay.
Right? So I would always, get in the game first.
Get in the game.
Do whatever you need to do to get in the game. You're kind of like talking the same. You want to know how to fix your credit, how much do I need to save, so that you can get in the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, my advice to you is in getting into the game, get in as best as possible, right? If you can get a multi-family house, that's the way to go. You're going to qualify for more money.
That's what I'm thinking.
You're going to have income. But there's some pros and cons that come with it.
Does the income have to be on the books? Because like my mom,
yes,
for
you do.
instance,
Well,
she's about to give me.
Hold on a second.
All right, go finish what you're saying, then I'll tell you.
All right, so there's some pros and cons that I don't want to get into, say nothing illegal, but
dude, the system have to be on a book. What are you doing?
I'll tell you in a second. I'll explain
income.
it.
You should claim it.
Well, this is what it is. My mom's about to sell her house. So her portion of whatever she's getting, she's going to give to me as a gift for me and my son to put a down deposit on our house. But someone told me
Where's she gonna live?
she's living somewhere else. She's buying another house.
All right,
So someone told me you can't do that because the government's going to want to know where that money came from. And I said, what? They can't tell me what I can do with my money.
You can do that.
Okay.
You can.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna tell you, my dad helped me with my house. I think he gave me like $8,000, and he just has to put in a note, blah blah blah. I'm such and such and such.
Yeah, someone said I may have to notarize it or something.
And notarize it.
Yeah.
Right. I give it. There's nothing wrong with giving my child a gift or a family member a gift.
Yeah. Okay,
it's just some people abuse that part of it. Like, hey, I gave you $1 million as a gift, and then they didn't give it to him, and then it's
crazy stuff. Yeah. No, because she's planning on selling her house, and then she's gonna go. I'm not sure if she's going to my brother's or she's gonna take one of my units. I'm not sure what she's doing, but she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll give you like I don't know, $20,000. You can put a down deposit on the house." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." And if I do like a one of the HUD programs,
FHA and all that, a lot of them. I mean, I spoke to 20%. If you want to get guaranteed for a loan, that pretty much anybody will give you. That's my experience, and I don't know that to be 100% now. But FHA, there's 3% down. Some of them are at 0.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
Yes, that's what I've been doing my homework.
Do your homework, do your research, get online.
Okay.
You know, and the easiest part of that is calling the bank. Hey, look, I want to get qualified, right? But don't let them get you into putting inquiries on your credit report.
Yeah.
All right, so when you're ready and you got what you need or what you think you need, one of the tricks I did learn is if you do have people doing inquiries on your credit reports, within a week or 14 days, do them all then, so then it doesn't appear as 14. I've been taught or told that it only counts as one.
Yeah.
I don't know how true that is.
No, it is. I learned that on one of the websites, and it says you can even call them and tell them that you were doing something, and they can wipe most of them off. They'll keep like 1 or 2 on.
I didn't know that. I mean, I that was tough for me because last year, with the inquiries, and we're talking about credit, not to get off track, I was trying to get my business started, and I was using my own credit to do it, and it wasn't going well, and I had too many inquiries, and it hurt my score a little bit. A lot of that has since come off because it's been over.
Give them credit. We had that in episode 5.
So yeah, but there's a lot of. I mean, you guys haven't served, right? Because I got a VA loan. There's a whole nother.
Yeah.
Like when I bought the home that I'm in now, I qualified for this much, and I qualified from that much when my wife got her job, and we got raises. But then at the end of it, just before we were trying to buy this house, they said, well, if you put this much down, we'll qualify you for this much, aside from what you've already been approved for. So I dropped that money and
got a bigger loan. Yeah. Nice.
A nice home.
That's what's up, man.
Another question I had to ask for you, brother. Well, with the piggyback on the past episode, you know, how much should a person have saved up for a down, or how much should a person have for a down payment? Would you, like a range or anything like that, or?
So this is my advice.
All right.
First, figure out what you can afford, and I think the rule is 1/3 of your income should be towards your living.
Okay.
So, you make $10,000 a month, then $3,000, $4,000 of that you can say that you can afford as a mortgage. Okay. And there's some calculators online, I think, that you can look to to tell you that.
I think Credit Karma has
to see how
too,
much you make and to say, okay, this is what you can afford. And then now it doesn't mean, so if you can afford a $250,000 house, but you're looking at a $300,000 house, it means you need a $50,000 down payment, which is great because now you tackle 2 birds with 1 stone. One, your own money is putting you into a better home, but it's also helping you to qualify for that home because you're putting a lot of skin in the game by putting down such a big payment. But that's not necessarily what has to happen. You can, again, get a $200,000 home and put 3% down, depending on where you're at. Because that's exactly what I did when the market tanked in 2008. I put 3% down. And you hungry, man?
Yeah, it's belly.
Crawling for real. Like, what's going on?
Your phones was picking up.
You're a grizzly bear. What do you think about the grizzly?
Y'all heard that?
Java real? What's going on? So, like, Grizzlies in 7. Grizzlies in 7.
I'm hungry for this knowledge. Yeah.
That was smooth. I like that. That was some cool shit.
He said, I'm hungry for this knowledge.
Shoot.
You have to figure out where you're at, right? Where your finances are to what you can afford. Again, what you need, what you want, what you need, what you can afford. And if those all 3 line up, it's great. If not, it's always what you can afford first and foremost, right? What you need should hopefully play into that. I mean, you're only talking about a house. You need a house. You need a place to stay. That's the only really need part of it.
Okay.
Right? And then what you can afford.
All right.
And just getting yourself there as best as possible. So, my dad used to tell me, if you want to know if you can afford something, put the money away like you bought it. You want to know if you can afford a $500 a month note on the car? Live your life and take $500 every month and put it aside and see if you can need it.
Money like,
right? You want to know if you can afford a $1,500 mortgage or a $2,000 mortgage? However you're living now, put $2,000 a month away. Now, you do that for 5-10 months. You've shown that you can do it, but guess what?
You got money saved now.
You got money saved to put the down payment.
All right.
Now,
simple, so simple.
When the time comes, you know that you can afford it. Now, I'm going to tell you, speaking about buying houses, because I was just telling one of my kids, because they're in the mode of, hey, I want to buy my own house. The more money you have saved, the better off you're gonna be, because it's gonna be a lot of things that are unforeseen. Inspections, radon. The mortgage company may want you to do this, and they may want you to do that, or have this done. And the seller may be like, I ain't doing it. Well, if you want it, you either got to get it done or pay to have it done. Right? So the more money you got saved up, the better. And it gives you your own leverage, so to speak, in a way. But like I said, my rule of thumb is if you can put 20% down on anything, somebody's going to give you some money. And the interest rate is just going to be whatever they decide, but that's going to be based on your credit. And that's why it's important to have good credit. I mean, there's people with tons of credit cards.
I was one of those people, but now I cut it down to 3.
Well, only use 3% of your total available credit.
Well, I'm a single mom over here that, sometimes have to live on credit for like a week and then pay it off, and
Get her, Troy. I know you want to get her.
I don't want to get her.
No, get her. Get her.
I'm going to speak to what you were saying and where this all starts. Budget.
Yeah, budgeting. Yeah.
What are your means? Because if you have to go into that and keep it as a debt, then you're using it for the wrong reason.
Yeah, probably going out.
Hey, listen,
eating.
Don't look at me.
Ready? I'm guilty of it myself. Right? Having a good credit is not something you use to go buy things that you can't afford.
Oh, say that again. Rewind.
Credit is used, or you should, in my opinion, use it as though you're using money and then paying it off so that you can buy things that you want and pay less money for it. Having good credit is so you don't pay 10% to buy a car. You don't pay 7% to buy a house. You pay 4%, I think what I said now. Even once, it's like 2%. That was like crazy. Right? And then I'm going to tell you, it's a cycle. All right, here we go. I'm sorry. Back to the Bible. Feast and famine. Joseph, right?
It
7
applies,
years.
so you're good.
I'm gonna hit you with, this is what having a relationship with the Lord would do. 2008, buy the house. We hit this famine. God said, how long have I shown you in the Bible the famines last for? 7 years, right?
Yeah.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Market came back. Shortly, actually,
stronger.
a little bit after that. I only know that because I paid $5 for my house. Me and my wife paid $5 for our house. And a year later, it was $720. And it's at $850 right now.
There you go.
Going.
It's gonna be a mill.
You wanna own your house? I'm already a millionaire.
Okay, good.
I'm almost a multi-millionaire.
Nice. Nice.
That's why he's in this room, Sandy.
Oh.
And I don't forgive me. I don't say that to brag. I say that not to brag on me, Father. Thank you.
You're not bragging.
But to brag on him.
We're bragging for you.
Yeah.
To
celebrate that. That's a celebration for you.
Not me. No.
Celebration for your life and your
for
family.
the Lord.
For the
Who
Lord
is my
too, yes.
provider.
Yes, yes.
But here's the thing, Troy. See, the reason
Jesus
why
is my Lord.
the reason why
straight.
you're in this room is for this reason, right? I know you, and it's not about the wrongs we done. It's about where we are in our life. Because again, Sandy knows me, and she knows my wrongs. Did she come out and say he's wrong on what he's doing? That's why I don't want to point out her wrongs. It's about the growth and where we are in life is the story that we actually tell it.
The Bible speaks to that too, right?
Right.
Judge not lest you be judged. That's why you don't judge nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're in their circle, if you will, in their group of 12, if you can relate to what I'm saying.
I know. I'm with you, God.
The Bible says to come.
As you are.
No, hold on. Well, to come to the Lord as you are. But when you have to check somebody, or if there's God puts it on your heart to deal with somebody who you know is wrong, if you love them, you say something. But go with 2 people, right?
Oh, please say that again. Somebody need to hear this. That I've been saying this to the longest time. But go ahead.
Go and again, forgive me. I don't know the verse and chapter.
No, we know. They can look it up.
But go with 2, right? And they should be believers.
Mm-hmm.
They should have a relationship with the Lord. I had somebody, I still got some pride issues myself. Somebody came in my house and was trying to tell me something. And I was like, you know what? That ain't what his word said. You don't even go to church. You don't tithe. You don't this. And I hate to judge them. But I'm not going to sit here and hold anything that you say that have value with what God's word says if you don't even know him.
Please say that again.
Preach.
Please.
Like, I can tell by your speech whether you know the Lord or not. Mm-hmm. There's a verse in there, study the word so that you can give an account of. Oh, I can't even remember it all. So that you can discern. Even with people, because, and this is my experience, my opinion, you can watch TVC pastors on the mega churches and they always say 100% right. Mm-hmm. Or I maybe not understanding them 100% right. But there's some things when God said, yeah.
They got to put their little 2 cents in there.
But that speaks to where we all come from imperfection. Is there a perfect church? No, because man is imperfect. I'm imperfect. I'm a sinner. Mm-hmm. Blood bought, born again. I'm a work in progress. Right?
All that matters.
You come out your mouth the wrong way, you may get the other guy that's up in here. I had to tell that to somebody one day. All right? Don't get it twisted. There's somebody in here that Jesus got his hand on. Boy, sit down. Mm-hmm. And you could get the other dude. He's still in there. Right? So, yeah, we're all over the place. I'm kind of...
No, you're not. Because you know what it is? The fact of the matter is, this is the whole purpose of Don't Get Emotional. Like, if you look at our dynamic, the humbleness, the femininity, Sandy, the intelligence, myself,
we saying we're not smart?
Oh, man.
You saying we ain't intelligent? We have our own intelligence in our own way. But anyway, let's go.
Let me finish.
Go ahead, finish, Dante. Go ahead.
I was going there, but you know what?
Go ahead. I'm gonna eat my
Mina Kana Kano. But here's the point, what I was sitting up there saying. When I sit up there and I have these conversations with CJ and Sandy, I'm like, listen, like, Sandy used to always call me preacher boy. And she knows the wrong I was doing. She knows I was in, I could confess my own sins. She knows I was in hotel rooms with other chicks. But the fact is, I was struggling. Why? Because no matter who I was and knowing who I was as a person, I still was trying to find myself. Because when you got a certain amount of money, that's why I say money doesn't mean anything. You're still trying to find yourself because he's like, I'm not married. I don't have kids. So I'm sitting up there saying, you know what, Lord, I've been praying for a wife and I didn't get that person. So let me go find that person myself.
What you saying? I'm your next wife? You can't find your real wife, so I'm the next best thing. I see how it is. I see where it's going.
One of my testimonies is this. In that, when God said, I said earlier, God says, I'm going to make everything in your life new. I had a new home, a newer car, new furniture, right? And I was still living carnal. When I tell you, I was wilding. All right? This is 2008 to 2010. Revolving door. Like, I was 220, 8%, landlord, power at work.
Grinding, you were doing a thing.
Right? And I'm like, I was laying in my bed one day, looking up at the ceiling, thinking about the things that I was doing. And I said, God, if this is all you have for me, call me home.
CJ, what did I tell you? What was I said, Lord, if this is it, I'm good. There got to be more to you than this. Did I not tell you that?
You did.
So, with tears in my eyes, that was my prayer. 7 days later, just about if I remember right, I met my wife at my watering hole. And this is a funny story because she was hanging out, my wife's a school teacher. And she was hanging out with my cousin, who was a school teacher, down at my watering hole. I don't know if you guys remember South Street.
Yeah.
That was my watering hole. That's where I was.
R.I.P. Paul.
I would purposely try to get.
You was the only one in there dressed up in a suit.
Because I had just left work, trying to get my drink on. Man, I got a lot of flack for that too.
I know. We all here. Like, come on, you don't need to be in a suit for this.
I used to love this.
I came in, and this is a true story. My wife had saw me, and I did my usual. I'm gonna make my first round. All right, who is it tonight? And that's to my shame. All right. Came back around, my cousin told me, hey, what's up, cuz? This is my friend Pauline. But prior to that, she had told my cousin, look at this pompous ass coming through the door, walking through here like he owns it. And then I come back around, hey, this is my cousin. And we ended up hanging out, going out that night and after partying, what is this, 12 years later? Yeah, 12 years later. Still by my side. She makes me better.
That's what it is.
But I said that to say, there comes a point in time when you have to look at the person in the mirror and go, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you here? And to that testimony God gave me, he said, I'm going to make everything new in your life. New wife. Right? I had a gym in the office in my house on my side. A year later, I had a... Your stomach doing that still?
No, that sounds like construction.
No, we paid attention to our podcast. You're doing your stuff. Our conversation, yeah.
So a year later, I had a new daughter, and my gym went into the basement. Right? I gained a new son when I married my wife, and then a year after that, I gained another daughter. God said, I'm going to make everything in your life new. Right? Even when the house got to be too small for us, he said, I'm not done blessing you yet. Man, I live in a 4,900 square foot house. 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms.
Ooh, 4 bathrooms? You have a jacuzzi in one?
Hold on, what
or a
state
jet
you live in?
Oh,
Massachusetts.
Yeah, I was about to come in there, yo, make a room for me. I'm coming over there.
And forgive me, I'm gonna say forgive me, but don't, because when God puts something on my heart to say, I usually just
just say it.
I can't not say it.
Tell them.
So, just the real estate thing. You put the time in for information, and one of the things that I learned too is about being in a situation or being in a culture. You learn more as you spend more time in it. You learn things that you didn't know. And like even Cindy, like she said something to me, hey, did you know about this? Because not everybody knows everything. The day you think you do, you're done.
You fail all day.
Yeah.
My thing is I try to learn something new every day. I go and I read something or something that's going to be like, all right, you know what? This is information that someone's going to need one day. Let me learn it now.
I don't know everything. I know, like I said, when I gave it, I know a couple things. All right, and I didn't go to school for it. It's just life experience.
Speaking of learning new things, you don't mind if I turn up a notch to you, Mr. Scott?
Not at all.
Can you explain closing costs, and can the closing costs be negotiated?
Absolutely.
You can, I think, add it into your thing, right?
So now, this is where information is important. It becomes a buyer and seller's market, right? Yeah. If it's a buyer's market, you want the seller to eat most everything because he's looking to get rid of the property. And
so it's like a tug of war when you're going through that process?
Listen, buying a home, you ain't even get to the big.
I never did it. That's why I'm asking the question.
I know. We might have to do a part 3.
Bidding war with somebody.
Yeah, bidding wars is crazy right now.
Or you're talking about a difference of $1,000 in closing a deal, right? Because I've been there, right? There's all kinds of what we call creative financing, where if you can't afford something and somebody's in a situation, and this comes from conversation with the seller or with their broker. Hey, look, I can do this, this, and this. I've heard of people being $20,000 off on a deal, and the seller carrying part of the note or a lien on the house. I'm gonna sell you the house, but I'm gonna carry this, right? And the way you could do that is, let's say it's 20 grand. I'll carry this part of the note for you for 3 years. Well, in 3 more years, the house should be worth more.
Yeah.
You could refinance, take the money out, pay him, and say, look, give me $200 a month to carry this part of the note for you, or $100 a month, right? And then when the time comes, you still, that person who's carrying the note still has a lien on the house. Because he has a lien, you can't do anything with that house.
You can't.
Because you both own it, just like you and the bank own it. So what will happen is the bank becomes the first lien holder. The person carrying the other note becomes the second lien holder, and then you become the third lien holder. And as you pay them off, you get them off the lien. So there's a way where you can do a lot, but it comes with communication and being able to articulate that with whoever the buyers and sellers are, and what they're willing to do. So in this market, like I said, I'm trying to get rid of one of my houses. They're like, well, the selling cost is this. I'm like, you know what? See if the buyer will eat it, right? Especially if you get into a situation where there's a bidding war, and it's going to happen if depending on where the
a lot of my friends are in bidding wars, right? And they're like, I'm not paying $30,000 over the asking price.
Yeah, well, good. Then you ain't gonna get the house.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. Because somebody will pay it.
Yeah,
and again, the market is so hot right now.
There's not enough houses.
Oversaturated.
There's not. It's undersaturated.
Now, what's going on right now, and somebody told me this a long time ago, and I didn't pay no attention because he said something to me. I'm not going to put on a mic what he said to me. And I didn't believe him. I was like, you bugging. He said right now there's people from New York and Boston coming and buying up all the property.
Yeah, no, he's right.
All right, so
he told me this years ago.
No, he was right. Years ago they did that.
Let's get back to what I said about the apple tree. Right? If I got money, I'm planting seeds.
Everywhere. Mm-hmm.
Some seeds need some cultivating, but it's still seed. If I got my situation with my own house set up, and I still have more income because you're doing the right thing, so to speak, you can invest it in other places. It's no different than going to buy 10 shares of Apple, go buy a house, right? Go
buy a storefront, whatever, yeah.
Something, go plant some seed, right? Water it, de-weed it, prune it. All that is vinyl siding, roof, central air, or
heating system, a boiling system, right. Yeah, all that.
And where I've made out tremendously is my dad was an engineer. He was a foreman on a Narragansett gray iron foundry. I'm good with these.
Your hands. See, when you say that,
I'm sorry. I'm good with my hands. I'm sorry. If I see it, I can do it. Like, again, YouTube.
Yeah.
I changed the motor mounts on my truck.
I feel you on that. Yep.
Did my struts. Did my front brakes. I'm like, man, I can do that. And the right tool makes everything easier.
I just did a mirror for my mom.
I was going to say that. You go, girl. I looked out, I was like, I couldn't even do that, and she did it.
My dad was an engineer, too, so I was always next to him and learning, doing things. So I'm like, I grew up a town boy with him.
True story. One reason why another reason why I can confirm my wife was my wife. Went to my dad's house, and I was working on his plumbing. And she was sitting on the tub on a plastic...
step stool thing?
No, like a barrel. What do you call it? Little... And as I'm doing the plumbing, I'm looking for certain things. So she's just putting her hand down my...
Like I needed the flux. The tool.
I needed the cleaners. I needed this. Wow. And as I'm doing it, she's just handing me the stuff. I'm like...
She know?
Where'd you learn this? Oh, I did this with my dad. God said, see?
Yeah, me too. I know how to snake a toilet. Sink.
She thought she was helping him, but he was preparing her for me.
Right.
Right? And that speaks to a lot. Anything that you've been through isn't always, because it's good and bad that happens. And free will is a Pandora's box. Isn't meant, God didn't mean for
you. Didn't even catch that, did you?
Yes, I did. What free will is a Pandora's box. Means anything can happen. Yes.
So God doesn't always mean, and this is my belief, for bad things. I know He doesn't mean for bad things to happen to you.
But sometimes the bad has to happen for a good to come out of it.
No, easy. Yeah. Easy. Not that it has to happen. Good. Right? But He can always make good of it.
Yeah. Ooh.
No matter what happens.
DJ. Merck's a DJ. Why? Say that again.
So God doesn't. That's that Pandora's box. I've given you free will, and a lot of people. Hold on a second, Father. Please give me the words to speak that would represent best what you would have me to say.
Yes.
People get mad at God for things that happen. He didn't make somebody go shoot somebody. He didn't make somebody molest a little girl. Right? He didn't make somebody do these horrible things that happen. But He can make good of it. And these things happen because of free will. God don't want no puppet. He don't want to control you. He wants, thank you, Jesus. He loves you enough to let you choose to choose him.
You enough to let you choose him. Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's for the people that are out there that are hurting. And I just keep carrying.
Broken.
Keep, do yourself a favor and just stay in the word. Right? Seek ye first the kingdom and all of its righteousness, and all of these things will be added to you. You want a house? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Well, hold up, Troy. I don't want to stop what you're doing because it's a beautiful thing. It's great. But here's the thing. When I encounter people, right, one of the things that I encounter a lot of people saying, they say that the Bible was written by man. And my response is, okay, so let me get this straight. The information that you're actually seeking is in a book that you said was written by man, but you refuse to read the book. That's one aspect. And then another aspect is, when y'all look at my life and y'all wonder why I'm blessed and where I'm at in life, it's the very book that you sitting up there saying, I've been reading the Bible since I was young. I used to get high and read the Bible, and I thought I fully understood it. And I was like around 15 and 16.
Hey, I might have to try that.
No, don't.
No, but I read the Bible. I've been in CCD. I've been in youth, in church groups and all that. So I grew up in church, so I know all about it.
When I'm saying don't, I don't want to encourage. I did it because we go through a process. It
opens up your mind in different ways.
But then as I got older.
Can I stop you for a second? Because that was my question too. Which one should I read? First and foremost, seeking yourself out.
Right.
Knocking the door open. It don't matter where you go.
Correct.
If you're looking for him. You could read a bunch of chicken scratch on the paper. Lord, give me a message. Bam. And he'll put it in your heart. I believe.
Correct. No, that's true. I agree. Go ahead.
All right. And I'm a believer in relationship, not religion. People say, well, what denomination? None. Just seek to have a relationship with the Lord.
Break that down. CJ need a relationship with some chicken or something.
So now I know what my tummy sounds like when it's raw, and I'm like, people can hear me.
Y'all heard that, huh? My bad.
Hey, listen.
It's gonna be out too, right? It's gonna be.
Hey, like you said, your body is talking to you because it's hungry for this knowledge. There you go.
Is God talking to you?
Yeah.
Is God talking to your stomach? He's telling you like, fish, my son, fish.
Fish, yeah.
Fish dinner.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Popeye.
I love the fact of this is so beautiful because we're bringing somebody in here that's going to actually be talking about God. So the fact that you setting it off.
Things are in sync. When we have
Yes.
Valerie in here with the credit, and we start talking about mortgages and everything and real estate. We had a conversation, like, again, not to revert. I'm like, man, we got to get Troy in here. And he said, CJ, I talked to him. That's when you were leaving the gym. I was like, what's up? We get. Then he texted me a week after Troy's on. I'm like, damn, I ain't seen this dude in a while. I'm like, man, this is going to be dope. This is going to be stupid. Go ahead.
No, and that's the thing.
Did I ask you a question?
You did. You
right.
did.
Hopefully I did. No more questions?
No, you can do whatever. You got time. Go ahead.
Okay.
So, I guess my hope for the people, even for you, I know you're trying to buy a house. Have a plan and work your plan.
Yeah.
Right? And when your plan doesn't go right, come up with something to modify it. Because I'm lackadaisical in what I do. Like, if you see my office, it's crazy right now. And I know to do things that I don't do, that I should. So again, have a plan, work your plan. That came from a friend of mine. And then another belief that I have to success is look the part, know the part, execute. Football players don't show up with a baseball bat, right? And that uniform on. there's also a lot to each game that we do, or your craft, if you will. I've heard that on YouTube. So know your craft. And if you don't, definitely have a mentor. But to speak to the three things, execute. And that's why having a plan written down, so you can say, today I'm planning to do this, this, and this. And even when I go to the gym, I used to have this is what I'm gonna do. And data is important so that you can go back and say, hey, look, this day I did this and I felt this burn. Or this week I ate this, this, and this, and I lost a pound. Or I did this, this, and this, and it
like
worked. Or it didn't work. And then you fine tune it to the point where it becomes habit, where you can do it without thinking about it. I wanted to say something else, and I got off track there for a second. Well, maybe it'll come back to me. Ask me another question.
Hold up before we go, because we're about to bring this to a close, and we definitely gonna bring you back.
Oh, absolutely,
Absolutely. This is like,
absolutely.
This is what it's all about. And if people have been paying attention and listening to what we're doing, they'll know that this is all flowing. And it's like what they don't understand is we ain't even gotta work hard to get this done. Like I was in the gym and I saw you, and the first thing I said is, yo, what's up? We was talking, you was talking to me about real estate, and I was just like, you know what? I can't repeat that information that you was telling me, but you can. And I was like, I'm gonna get you on. And then like I tell people all the time, I talk to CJ every day, at least every day, because there's only probably one day since we met that we didn't talk, but every day we talk. And when he was just like, he brought you up, I was like, I already got him.
That's crazy.
Nah, again, because remember, I'm a Bible person. I can get it on.
Crazy. Right, that's confirmation.
It says that I set the times and places where you need to be, for perhaps you seek me. So the fact that I'm at it, just like with Sandy, like Sandy know I hate social media. How did I get in touch with her? Social media. She didn't even believe it was me. She's like, is this really you? And I said, Sandy, I have a vision. I talked to Sandy before I talked to CJ. And I said, Sandy, I need you for something. And she came to my house. We sat down and talked. Now, Sandy could have easily said, I got other people I could do this with. But the fact that she knows who I am, she believed in what I am, and she said, you know what? I believe in you. She said that, I believe in you, and we're going to do this and stuff. So again, I knew the team that we have in this room was the right team. Just like when I went to Merck and I said, yo, Merck, I need your studio to do this. And even he didn't understand at first what I meant. And I was like, nah, what I'm trying to do, you could execute it. And look, he executed it. So God knew. And this is only going to get better.
Yeah, I don't mean to help you, but that just speaks to being faithful over a little.
Correct.
Right? I'm going to tell you, when I saw you guys, I looked at this as an IPO. And that's an initial product offer if you're looking at real estate. I can't wait to see what you guys do. Especially because, I know you. I may not know you. I'll be honest with you, you seem familiar. I've seen your face somewhere.
Yeah, I bartended everywhere. Radio host, model, DJ.
And of course, I know you from your mom at the post office. Yeah. Your dad at one point, right?
Yeah. He ain't my dad, but he was my dad.
Right. And you know what I meant.
Yeah. No, we good.
And to see this cat, like he said, yo, check out my video, this, and this. This was back when we was there. I'm like, this dude here. I'm like, you got some talent. You got some, right. To me, it sound good, right?
Yeah, His new joint's fire.
You can,
The Dark Knight.
I can see this getting sold. You know what I mean? So it makes me feel good to see people getting in the game no matter where it's at.
You hear that, people? Everybody's want to jump off shift, tell me my energy's off, and
CJ,
tell me everything's different.
Walk, CJ,
you know what I'm saying? Saying everything.
CJ, go ahead.
Stay off that ship, just like the Titanic. Stay off that ship. You want to throw that necklace in that water? Go ahead, throw that. Go ahead. I hate that movie, by the way.
I was excited to when you say, "Hey, look, come talk on my segment, or whatever you call this," and I was like,
"Conversation, baby,"
because I've seen it done. All right, and at different levels. I mean, this is no different than sitting in a room, I guess, with Steve Harvey or whoever. Same kind of conversation. And my my excitement is to see what this. I want to be someday. Y'all on TV or on radio having these conversations and be like, yo, I remember when they had me up in there.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's praise God that it gets there.
Do you know how far? Do you how we go back deep? We go back deep. Yo, the song Buzz. I keep saying that song is from 2004. I was in his house recording it. That's how far. Like here's the thing. He didn't have to let me in his house to record that song. He brought me in his house. And you want to hear the funny thing? He brought me in his house for free. Because again, my brother, artist named Fliz, he was working with him. And we became...
That's what I'm talking about, man. See?
Connections. All about the connections.
But that's a seed towards more.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right? That what you do for the least of me, you've done. That what you do for the least of them, you've done for me. You see what I'm saying? Father, thank you. Just it's a tree that bears no fruit is firewood. And if he uses me and there's fruit from it,
all that matters.
Then I'm not firewood.
Nah, he used you very well. And you know what? We gonna again.
Hold on. Before you close this, I gotta say this. You know, since Troy's here. There was one point in time, me and him didn't see eye to eye. You know what I'm saying? I was, you know what I'm saying? He's laughing because he remembers I was being a rebel at work. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
CJ, a rebel?
And everything.
I can't picture it.
I had to coach you one night.
He did. He did.
That's right, he was his boss.
He
was your boss.
We was about to get into it.
See, that's a good boss. I pull people to the side too. I'm a boss too, so I know what.
I didn't see him as my boss because he was coming on a later shift, and I was like, yeah, he's on another shift. He ain't my boss. I ain't gonna listen. Who cares?
Oh, it's that.
You one of them staff. Oh, I got something for you too.
And I figured that he was being set down like he was being a pet. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real. I'm keep it 1,000%. I thought it was like him being the only black supervisor on that shift. I thought he had to come get the little fat black boy on the late shift. I was like, yo, why they keep sending him? Send somebody else. The more they kept sending him, the more aggravated I got with this man. And he's trying to tell me side to side. I was like, look, Troy, I don't want to hear nothing you gotta say. You over there doing their work, trying to wrap me up.
Conversation.
I'm not hearing it. You know, then they sent somebody else down. They had to send a whole steward down for me to go talk to this man in his office. And it took a while. It took me about an hour to get to his office. I was gonna leave and everything. I was like, yo, F this dude. I got nothing to say to this dude. I was calling all types of names and everything. The tension was there. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Then we had to talk this and that. He said, look, I'm not even gonna write you up. Just tell me what's going on, this and that. He wasn't even, I went in there yelling. He was calm. His tone was everything. I was like, man.
That's me. I'm not type of boss. I'd be like, what? Okay.
After that, I know we don't got much time to get into. I just want to bring this up. I had to put my manager's cap on. I was like, what if I was in his position? He had a job to do. I was all right. Here goes this kid.
There you go.
Over here being a rebel. I can easily get fired. Just like he said in the previous episode, if I work for you, would you fire me? You know, so now I was like, man. So like 2 weeks after that, I think he went on vacation. We came back, shook his hand. I was in a whole different area. That's when he started writing that paper down about loans and mortgage. I'm like, yo, why does this man get this information? I was just cussing this dude out. I was just cussing this dude out. But I went to him and shook his hand and everything. And then we talked for about almost 2 hours, and here we are, man. It was pretty cool. So I wanted to get that out the way.
Hey,
and everything.
He had to get that off his chest.
And I know you remember.
That was
I remember it a lot more now.
That was great. And now we're gonna bring him back. Like, listen, we always do the part twos. And we definitely, because this was
because I can see maybe people having questions, so that we'll bring it back to answer some of the questions.
This was beautiful conversation, but we gotta close out. Go ahead,
CJ.
No, you don't got no closing moments.
Closing moments. Well, that was my closing moment. I appreciate you coming. You know, that. Any issues you have, anything, little petty situations you might have with somebody, resolve that. Life is short. You know, life is really short. So I appreciate you coming again. You know, I appreciate you shaking me. You didn't have to shake my hand, so I appreciate you shaking my hand, giving me that knowledge that day. That was 2018. 18, I believe.
We're coming full circle.
Go ahead.
My closing point is save your money, make a plan, and let's buy all this property out here, people. Us minorities got to do something. We can't let all these other WPs take over. Let's go.
Yeah, that's it.
Flygurl Sandy, we out.
You got any closing moments?
Oh, man.
Hey, look, this first and foremost, praise our Lord and Savior. I'm grateful for this opportunity to, even if I'm not documented as having a degree or whatever the case may be, but be able to share life's wisdom or knowledge with people. It's definitely a blessing. I just look forward to testimonies coming from it, or the things that come from it. That's it.
All right.
Hey, Merk, you got any closing moments? He just shaking his head.
He gave him the mic and everything.
He's like, what is wrong with these dudes? And this female over here in the sundress. But yo, we want to thank you for this episode, people. And all we got to say is, don't get emotional. I just want to give you content that you cannot resist. The Dark Knight. The light. Vampires.
Bye, people.
God.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough. And it is because of our effort toward getting straight to the root that people oftentimes think we're dealing in hate.
Eyes of Malcolm, voice of Martin, face of Emmett Till. What I speak on will be real, no Cypress Hill. Stone is the way I walk, live in a glass house, don't dorm. That's what they told them. Yet I'm still hit with them. Are y'all victims when we speak in violence? Been taking us out, want us to be silent. Put a sock in them, don't address Stockholm Syndrome. Wait, let's lay out the symptom. Color of skin in your eyes is a sin, but for one blood was made all creation. Is this true or not? When I tell a lie, then you can press stop. Can my words be my demise, or will they finally open up some eyes? Are we blind to the truth or blind to the roots? Get to know my name, it's Dylan Rue. When I wanna show y'all respect, let me put a knee on your neck. Nah, this ain't a threat. Say you can't breathe, got you a check. Come on, work out, don't sweat. No pain, no gain, sell your soul for the fame. Will you live forever in that what course? You found dollars, left your people lost. Athletes care about their merchandise, and you seek them out for advice. Ever wonder why we are where we are? Should be seeking God, not seeing stars. Can we tell the hope? View the picture clearer, see it through my scope.
I think this is the most difficult thing that I think that I have ever had to do in my life. The discussion that we are going to have today.
Lend me your ear for a second, get this on record. Nothing sharp about Al nor his pal Jesse. Actions not affirmative, question their motives. Why? What have they ever give? Receive our guests and say we are blessed. Since civil rights, this what we have left. Shall we overcome? Not serving each other. Red rum, think backwards. Was hit with great tactics. 6 feet deep, cause we don't have standards. Bloodbath of a black man. That's why we underground tug, man. Remember the Million Man March? Wasn't watching them, our children. Did they grow up to be like him? The man y'all said to be the problem. Where are the solutions? They derail Oscar Grant. Only cotton picked off a clothing rack. Never whips on my back, nor push to the back. No holes in the front while standing side to side. Then I find myself after I went to hide. This ain't reality. Social media are real to me. Be who I wanna see, what I don't have. Who am I really wearing this mask? We about to be exposed. Hear a few things like to say before I close. In my coon, cause the world don't consume. I say it will end soon. Investors are ancestors. This is how we paid our forefathers.